Hey everyone, welcome back to Wonderland Wednesday. We're talking today about the 1966 version of Through the Looking Glass. And this was not what I thought it was going to be. It turned out to be a very weird, almost bad fan fiction version of the story.
Uh, Once again, Lewis Carroll was rolling in his grave as this was played on the internet. It is one of the cheesiest things I have ever seen.
Cheesy hardly begins to describe it. It was just terrible.
We did it for the cause, not for the pleasure. And we actually skipped a lot of it, which we don't normally do, but it was absolutely peppered with unnecessary Broadway-esque musical numbers.
Bad Broadway-esque musical numbers. There was, I would say, at least a third of the film was these terrible songs that,
Had little or nothing to do with.
yeah, they really had very little to do with the story. They were just there to, I don't know, maybe showcase the talents of the actors, and that was about it. It was bad enough that we decided to start skipping the songs.
It started out really decently because it's a modern take. She's in an Alice type outfit, but modern for the time. And she's bored because her parents are having a party and she's not supposed to be in on it. And her father encourages her to go play chess, amuse herself, and he'll pop in on her. Okay. Good so far.
It seems like it's
Yeah.
setting it up for her to have the whole chess themed thing going on.
You would think. Uh, then the Red King shows up, and it's all downhill from there.
Yeah, he comes into the real world first, which is out of left field because she goes into the looking glass before things start getting weird. But no, he comes in there first.
I would have been fine with that if it hadn't quickly transitioned into a cheesy number and dialogue that had absolutely nothing to do with the book. This is a strange story, a fun story. Stick with it. But no.
Yeah.
This video could sound like a whole reel of whining about how terrible this was. We'll try not to go too crazy here. But there really was very little to redeem it. They had certain people on it that we recognized. The lady who played Mrs. Snow and was on the 1960s version of Pollyanna. I've seen her in a crime film with Lauren Bacall, Jimmy Durante, the Smothers Brothers.
Lots of big name actors and singers and dancers from the 60s. And basically, I think they just envisioned this as a way to have people be able to sing and dance for an hour and a half. It was a very weird TV movie.
He quickly became annoyed because there was a laugh track and applause.
Yeah, it was so strange. A laugh track in Alice in Wonderland. It made no sense. It really cheesified it.
I could understand if this was a live play and you had children giggling in the audience or something.
It was like a sitcom. It was basically like you would imagine if Alice in Wonderland was turned into a sitcom.
But not funny.
Yeah, but not funny.
The basic plot that they chose to give it was that the Jabberwocky had taken over the land and they didn't have power, and Alice, she was brave even though she has no machete or gun or anything. She's willing to stand up to the Jabberwocky and she wants to become a queen, and they encourage her where to go to become a queen. Along the way she meets elements of Wonderland, the talking flowers, Jimmy Durante as Humpty Dumpty, the Smothers Brothers as Tweedledee and Tweedledum. One of the things that they injected in here was a Lester the Jester.
Yeah.
Which we have managed to piece together was a doll that she says she lost, and he is helping guide and protect her in this land.
Through very bad visual effects.
In the end, she has her doll back, but he helps to protect her from the Jabberwocky, who appears throughout the film, who also has no weaponry whatsoever, and
He
is
just sort of threatens her, looking menacing, and that's about it.
kind of like a cheesy little boy. And his horns are quite wobbly. They're made out of
Basically,
plushy or something. I don't know.
Basically, this Jabberwocky looks like a really bad Doctor Who villain from that time. He looks like he could be some iteration of the Master mixed with a devil beast. I don't know. It's a very bad costume, very bad makeup.
I don't know what that means, but if you know Doctor Who, then you know what he's talking about. Either way, it was a poor costume and a cheesy role.
Yeah.
She gets to... Oh, we should inject that they decided to have her path blocked. She's following these roads like she's Dorothy from Oz.
And they're like gold, like roads of gold.
Well, one of them looked like granite. They said it was blue, but it was gray. Thank you very much. Maybe it was blue in real life.
I don't know.
Along the way, all of these, and you're warned ahead of time by the flowers, kind of. All of these brooms pop up in her path, and the witch from Snow White,
The witch from Sleeping Beauty, and the witch from Hansel and Gretel
3 witches.
all appear to menace her and block her path.
And they're
really nothing else.
they're offering her the sort of their weapons of choice, you know, when you like an apple, when you like to make some
It was
needlework or something.
I don't know. It was just, why was this here? It made no sense.
But she was brave, and she stood up to them, and so they got scared and disturbed, and they went away.
And that was all they did. And this is another reason why I said it felt like really bad fan fiction, because a lot of fan fiction have people inserting their favorite characters from other media into the story they're writing about. And that's basically what this was. It was 3 characters from other stories put into a story for no reason other than to just be there.
Then they and their fence of brooms, which she could have just walked through the brooms.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They went away, and she was on her way, and eventually she makes it to the end of the line. She's going to be crowned queen, and all of a sudden she is in this gigantic pink ball gown.
Which looked like an upside-down cupcake wrapper to me.
I liked elements of the dress, but I think they just felt like having her in a really fancy dress. Unfortunately, this party is interrupted by the Jabberwocky. Somewhere in there, she's running off, and Lester helps her while she escapes back into the real world, and all of the people come up behind the Jabberwocky with swords, like they're finally gonna take him down, and he's sort of clawing at the mirror, like he's trying to get through to the other side, away from them. Then it's like she's having a really bad dream on the other side with her little jester doll on her lap, and her father comes in, wakes her up. They're supposed to have this little sentimental moment, which I was not touched by. And that's pretty much it. Don't show your kids. Don't waste your time.
Yeah.
You're welcome. We have borne the pain for you.
Well, I think that's all for today. Next week, we're going to be reviewing the 1988 Czechoslovakian version of Alice in Wonderland. I know I'm going to be reviewing it myself. Sarah might join me. She hasn't decided yet, because it's very weird.
If I'm not too creeped out by the demonic-looking bunny, you'll see.
And the creepy bunny is the least weird thing to me.
It's the teeth. I mean, we each have our thing.
This is a very strange version,
Very.
and I don't even.
For someone who loves oddities, this might be the version for you.
Yes, this version is one that is so strange that we instantly thought it would be something that Tim Burton would just revel in.
Probably.
It is the epitome of weirdness, and there's not really any other way to describe it without you seeing it for yourself. So, we'll be talking about it next week together if Sarah
Is not too creeped out.
Yes. So, I'll see you then for sure. We might see you then next time.
Bye.
People do it every